Hello, I see a few people. Who all are here? Show up. Why are you guys hiding? Rishabh. So before we begin, we are going to start with some basic ideas. First, we need to know a little bit about the chord progressions, and I have a backing track. It's quite fast. I'm not warmed up. I just returned, so I'll try to play with that backing track. It's a beautiful backing track. So the link of the backing track is in the description, so you people can play that backing track. I can't see the description, so can you guys check and tell me that the link is there or not? So we have to. Amit Shah, please try to follow because there's so many people who don't understand Bengali, so I can't give you lessons in Bengali. But it's music, so you'll be able to understand, hopefully. AV, thank you. So first, we are going to take a look at basic structure of the blues before attempting to solo over it. I'll cut down the delay. So if we take a simple A blues, we have essentially three chords: A7, D7, and E7. Four bars of A, 2 bars of D, make a note, 2 bars of A, so 4, 2, 2, total 8 bars gone, 12 bars, so we have 12 bars, okay, 12 chords rather, so 4 times the 1 chord, 2 times the 4 chord. So before attempting the solo, you should play the rhythm, okay, so learn the rhythm and then get into the soloing part. And then after 8 bars, you have 1 bar of the 5 chord, that is E7, and 1 bar of 4 chord, that is D7. Just make a note, 4 times 1 chord, I'll repeat, then 2 times 4 chord and 2 times 1 chord, once the 5 chord and then the 4 chord, and back to the root chord A7. So total 12 bars. And you can take, chord shapes like these. So these are standard chord shapes. A7, this is D7, this is C shape basically, C major and fourth finger on the third fret, and you move this shape. Alright, so after you get used to this progression, you can take different strumming patterns. I'll talk a little bit about rhythm. Okay, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and it's a swing feel. Cha, 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 cha. So if we consider one bar as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. See, the accents are on the second beat, so it gives you a groove. So this is the most important thing, keeps you grooving. 1 and 2. So I'm doing all downstrokes. So in one hand, I'm just focusing on the bass note. And in the accent points, the 2 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So this is how the groove is going. Alright, so this is how you can create your chord progression, and then if you want to play over it, you have the A minor pentatonic scale you should start with. Later on, since this is a dominant 7 chords we are taking, we'll be taking we are going to use the Mixolydian mode, then the major pentatonic, minor pentatonic, a lot of options. But initially, just get the vibe, of using the minor pentatonic scale. You won't have to be too technical about it, just get the rhythm. Because whenever, I used to practice when I was a beginner, I would play a backing track, I'll demonstrate, I'll play in C, so my C minor pentatonic scale starts from the 8th fret. So I'll just play that backing track. It's quite fast, but no need to worry. Even if something is very fast, you can always, keep track of the rhythm. And it's very fast. Just let me know if the sound is balanced, the guitar and even if the backing track is going fast, I'm not playing fast. I'm just keeping the groove. So playing in time is the most important thing. You won't have to play super fast. Okay, so I'll just demonstrate as if I don't know anything. So I'll just alright. So this guitar is going through an immense intonation problem. Tuning it in standard is not keeping it tuned, but I'll give it a try again. The weather change, affects very much in dry places like these. Anyway, so I'll again go. Give it a try this backing track, but slowly, not fast. Leave spaces. Listen to the chords. Lot of spaces. See, pretty simple thing I played. So in the one chord I played. Later on I'll explain. So I'm just playing. I'm coming back to the root note. Okay, so this is C7, so C chord. So I'm playing B flat C. So if you get into the theory, the B flat note is a flat 7 of C. So basically this is a dominant 7 chord you are targeting. So when the chord changes, I'm just going to the next string. I'm playing the what are the notes? This is your F and this is E flat. Okay, so E flat and F. So it goes to the F chord. I'm still in the minor pentatonic shape 1. Pretty simple. So I'm playing, and this covers me up, on the 4 chord, because I'm playing the flat 7 and the root. So when first chord was going on, so if I play the dominant 7 arpeggio, so most of the people, if some of you know about it, then you'll relate to it. 1, 3, 5, flat 7, 1. So the fingering is like this, you can make a note. This is my chordship. Always relate everything in a particular position. Then you can easily access the things that you want to play. So this is root, 3rd, 5th, 8th on the 6th, 7th on the 5th, 10th on the 5th. This is my flat 7, 8th on the 4th, and root here. And same shape if I start playing from the F note. Alright? I get the F7 arpeggio. And then when the 5 chord comes, I'm not approaching it with the flat 7 to root thing. I'm playing root, flat 3rd. So let us not get into theory. This is sharp 9 if Hendrix chord. You can get a vibe, but melodically it should sound right rather than taking a lot of theories in account. So see, just playing few notes on time can make your playing sound good. As a beginner, if you're starting, this is the most important thing, to play on time, understand what the chords are changing. You won't have to play 1,000 notes to outline the changes. So I'll do it once again and you see, and then I'll expand. Last I played in this chord progression, you check the link below, backing track. They are not going to an E7. Sorry, not E7, it's G7 because it's in C. But generally, most of the blues, we end with the 5 chord. So that's why even if it's not going to the G note, you can always walk to the G G note, because G is anyway the fifth of C. So this is a good move. So my blues solo is like this. Sorry. Pretty simple, but if you listen carefully, you will hear the chord changes. How many of you can hear the chord changes? And one more thing, in order to play the blues, you have to mentally rehearse the chord progression, that one chord is going on. And so on. So memorize the chord progression and think in your head. And the most difficult thing, that everybody should learn to do, that without the chords going on, you have to play the solo. So if you ask me to play, I can demonstrate, if my cut down the delay. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and chord change 4, back to 1. See, when I do this, actually it goes to the 4 chord, back to 1 chord. See, so this thing should run in your head, and initially you won't be able to nail the chord changes, but in your mind you should be able to hear this. This is very important. And now, sorry, coming to the licks, some licks that you can use. I'll just play a little with this backing track, and then I'll give you some ideas. And you can also check, from this channel, there are some of the lessons, I did with minor blues and all. So you can get some licks from there also. And I'm planning to prepare another minor blues lesson where some beautiful licks are there. It's based on a song by Peter Green. Anyway, so lot of spaces you need to leave. And here what I did in between was the major pentatonic, BB King signature kind of. Not BB King signature, this lick was played by everybody. So root, flat third to major third. So the fret numbers are basically 10 on the 4th string, 8 to 9 hammer on the 3rd string, and what is this? 8th on the 2nd, 10th on the 2nd, back to the root, 8th on the 1st string. So this is my major pentatonic scale. But here I'm using the minor third. So here's one trick, For the one chord, you can use the major pentatonic. And whenever it comes to the 4 chord, you can go to the minor pentatonic. So this adds a cool vibe to it, because and also you can use the 6th. So see, everything is here, combining in one shape major and minor pentatonic, and you can take the blues note, sometimes the flat 5, which I was doing. So this is flat 5. So if you add a flat 5 to the minor pentatonic scale, but this is not a note to stay on, so it gives you a blues scale. See, I'm sliding from flat 5 to the 5th. Sorry, flat 5 to the 4th. 5th is here. So this is how you can add color. So you can play the Mixolydian mode also here. When A7 is going on, you can play A Mixolydian. So it cuts down the work a lot when you start using the major pentatonic, because in major pentatonic, the 2 notes that are missing from the minor pentatonic scale are the 2nd and the 6th. So if you add the 2nd and the 6th with the 3rd, so you get Mixolydian, if you know theory, because this is something you need to know. Otherwise you won't understand. Sorry? Okay, so now here let me use some ideas. Minor. went away from the minor pentatonic scale and started using notes from the Mixolydian mode. So you can, phrase using these notes when the chords are going on. So the second note, in minor blues, it sounds really good. So there's not much to talk about because you need to practice the scale shapes and visualize, and whenever you need, you have to access those notes. And can we play major pentatonic and minor pentatonic in the same key? So this is the beauty of the blues. You know how you learn how to use the chords rather than think in keys. Because if you are talking about keys in one scale, the general major scale or minor scale that we have, in whatever scale you take, the standard scales. I'm not getting into the melodic minor, harmonic minor thing, but basic standard scales and modes. Each key can have one diatonic dominant 7 chord, and here you are using three dominant 7 chords. So you can definitely have think of three key centers while soloing, and if you start thinking of three different key centers while soloing, it might give you an an idea that this is so complicated. So it's better that you stick to the chord tones and just switch between the major and the minor pentatonic. So in short, dominant 7 chords going on. First chord, major pentatonic. When the fourth chord comes, go to the minor pentatonic. Back to the major. Then when the 5 chord comes, you have different choices. For example, won't have to think much because it comes for a very short time. So if you start doing a lot of stuffs, you won't be able to make it. So make it a phrasing kind of a thing. For example, so here, see, again, even if you phrase, something, here it falls in the theory if it sounds good. So there's two way of, reverse engineering. Here I'm bending this note. So this is the root of the 5th, and I'm bending the flat 7 to the and ornamentation, so the techniques and stuff. But technically, essentially, if I have to play a few notes, so 3 chords changed. This is the 5th. And when I hit this note, actually it goes to the 4 chord. So this is, I'm playing the 4 dominant 7 chord, but from the 3rd, an arpeggio basically. 3, 5, flat 7. And when I reach the flat 7, so these things you need to rewind the video once it's done. Listen to it a lot of time and think about it, because there are a lot of things you have to mentally calculate. Otherwise, you won't understand, When I'm thinking of the 4 chord, this is 3, 5, flat 7. And when I'm in the flat 7 of the 4 chord, which turns out to be the flat 3 of the 1 chord, and immediately major third and resolve in the root. So 5 to 4 and back to 1, a simple lick can be. Morphinium. The comment made me laugh. So anyway, and one more idea before we finish. We are ahead of. We have crossed the time. So here, I can play very short motifs. I'll show you what I mean, then I'll tell you what I'm doing. See, I'm playing some sixes basically, and some tritones. Tritone is 1 and flat 5. So these terms might sound scary, I'm known for scaring people away from music, but actually I'm not that scary. So I don't scare people away. I ask people to, find out the truth. So if truth scares you, then learn 5 chords and enjoy Dil To Pagal Hai and other good stuffs out there. So here, see, I'm just playing when the one chord is coming. So this is 1 and this is flat 5 if you're thinking of these two. See, very dissonant interval. But when we are playing there, it sounds pretty cool. What happening here is basically when the A7 chord is going on, again please make a note and keep coming back, otherwise you won't understand. You need to know these arpeggios. So the note I'm playing is E, R, E, and this is B flat, which are tritone. E and B are like 1 5, 1 flat 5. So these two notes are basically C. It with respect to C, it's third and flat 7. So instead of playing a big chord, I can just play these two notes. Alright? And same thing when the next chord comes. See, if you have to visualize, this is 1, this is 4. So if I have this structure for one chord, so basically, technically, this is the chord shape. I'm removing the root, I'm just playing these two notes. And next chord is 4 chord, this chord shape. I'm removing the middle finger, I'm taking the next. So I can take these two notes. Alone they can't function, but in the progression it will sound pretty cool because these are the chord tones. And same thing, I can move this up a whole step to get my 5 chord. And one more thing, so this is important, make a note. For A, I'm using 3 and flat 7. For F also I'm using 3 and flat 7. Okay? But, for example, if I reverse the order, so I was here, and if I move it, See, here you have to see the tritones are basically interchangeable. The same shape, if I play it here, if the 3 was here and flat 7 was here, and if I play the same shape, the diagonal thing, 3 is here, the flat 7 is here. So shape wise is a beautiful thing. So instead of taking 3 and flat 7, if I take flat 7 and 3, essentially same, what will happen? If I just move the shape here, this is my 3 and flat 7. I know many people are not understanding, so just deal with it. So this is my 3 and flat 7 for A. Sorry, C. If I move this shape here, I have flat 7 and 3. Now the order has changed. This is flat 7 of F, the 4 chord. Why? If this is the root, this is flat 7. This is basic theory, you should know. Why this is flat 7, I need not explain. And this is 3. So, see half step. So, in a 12 bar progression, I'll cut off the delay. If the progression is going on, just 1 and 4 chord, just give it a listen. This is the vibe of 1 and 4 chord, okay? And now, see, on pretty simple, you are shifting this shape half step down, but you are getting the same vibe. I don't need big chords. Sorry, I'm lost. Sorry, here it is. So this is my C7, F7, and I can take it a whole step apart and have the G7. So I can play 12 bar blues just playing this shape in 3 frets, 3 consecutive frets. Okay, so see, 4 chord, 1 chord, 1 chord, 4 chord. I'm playing a quick change. Again 1 chord, 4 chord. Sorry, again start. I confused you. I'm sorry. So the progression is 1, 4, 1, 1, 4, 4, 1, 1, 5, 4, 1, 1. If you are confused, rewind after the video is done. Okay. So one chord, coming to the 4th, again 4th, 1 twice. Now 5 chord is coming. See, in one position you can do. So these things, if you can, figure out at different places, then we have some funky ideas which you can use. For example, here we have, so E and B flat. So let us find out E. This is the shape which we can get. So all the things you have to put together with the, so, and for F, what we were using, the notes, the flat 7 and the 3rd, so F, A and E flat. So E flat and A here, okay, so which turns out to be the 6th. So that's why we tend to use a lot of scales, because we get these intervals in different shapes. Otherwise, if you have to think that I want a 3, flat 7, 6, so it becomes very complicated. So the scale covers those notes. So that's why you play the 1, over the 1 chord you play the major pentatonic, over the 4 chord you play the minor pentatonic. So these things actually covers the notes that are needed to create that sound. Okay, so I'll give you an idea. So if I can go on doing this, so it won't sound good. So you have to play something musical, adding spice to it. So if your recipe has got only spice and no vegetables or no chicken or fish in it, then it won't taste like anything. So these are the spices that you add, but you need to have the real ingredients as well. So let's see how we can make use of these ideas. My nail broke. Oh my god. Something of this sort. My fingers are stopping, my nail broke. Anyway, I should have filed it before using hybrid picking. So while playing the blues, you need to have this nail edge, properly filed, because you need to do a lot of hybrid picking stuff. See, I was doing, so it won't sound good because I'm missing the notes because of. So this is a very important thing, the hybrid picking thing, in order to give you the feel. So if I get to a Telecaster kind of sound, so see, simple ideas in one position, you can extract so much sound. So if you are aware of the things, anyway, I'll have to finish it off. It's done. I plan to keep my live streams short and precise, 30 minutes. I'm sorry. So we have crossed the time. It's more than 45 minutes. So watch this video over and over. Pick up the concepts, and use it in your own way, because learning a lot of licks from me is good, but at the end of the day, it's your voice on this instrument. So take the ideas and make your own. And also don't forget to check out my new videos that are coming, Stealing the Licks, a new series I've started where I talk about different artists, different solos. We extract ideas from the solos and how we can apply in our own playing. So it's a pretty cool thing to learn from, rather than learning the solos. You can pick up ideas from it and start applying it in your own playing. And also don't forget to visit my website, tamsguitar.com and musiccircle.in. Those who are, in need for theory lessons and all, there are a lot of courses that I'm making. So if you can afford it, go ahead and purchase it. And this is how I can keep the things free on my YouTube channel. The only way you can support the channel is by purchasing the courses if you can afford. Otherwise, I'm there. I can give you a lot of stuff for free, which anyway I'm trying my best to you know share the knowledge, not only my knowledge, and now I'm collaborating with different people there who are kind enough to come down and share their knowledge for no monetary benefit. So anyway, thank you, and those who are in search of Skype lessons or face-to-face lessons in Kolkata and Pune, definitely check the link below and get in touch with us and learn directly from our team. And nothing more to say. Take care, and I'll see you soon on Friday live streams, maybe next week. Take care. Bye. Good night.